All right, hello everyone. I'm going to be discussing on the topic of tablets versus textbooks, and my advocate is claiming that tablet replacing of textbooks in K-12 public schools will have a significant effect or significant advantage for students. The advocate does so by claiming that tablets help students learn material quicker, that they save schools thousands of dollars in respect to traditional textbooks, and that replacing textbooks will reduce student back injury. Now, onto my advocate's first claim. She claims that students will learn material quicker with tablets. Now, although it might be true, the advocate fails to realize that there are much more influences tablets have on students. Tablets actually open opportunities for students to be distracted during class. And we live in a technological age where we multitask with digital media now more than ever. According to Leslie Lanier, a specialist in teaching and learning disabilities, students may pay attention to apps, emails, games, and websites instead of their teachers. And 87% of K-12 teachers believe that today's digital technologies are creating an easily distracted generation with short attention spans. Now, of course, there are ways schools put software into tablets to prevent students from doing that, but evidence has shown that they are being very creative in the way they get around that. An article written by Megan Gao shows that in the fall of 2013, schools began receiving iPads that would go to each of the 640,000 students in the LA school district. But the students quickly learned how to work around the ActiveSync profile restrictions on tablets so they could use them for non-educational purposes. ActiveSync is a software program developed by Microsoft which synchronizes the computers from teachers to students' tablets. And if there's no way we could control that for the students, imagine trying to control 30 or 40 students who are browsing the web, watching the latest cat videos, playing games, and stuff like that. It would be a nightmare to control. So it's pointless to have these tablets in here if they're not going to be used by their intended purposes. Moving on to the advocate's second claim that tablets are cheaper than textbooks. Well, she does have one point that is correct, in which that e-textbooks, which can be loaded onto tablets, are cheaper than traditional textbooks. I mean, we all do that. We try to save a couple bucks trying buying a digital version. But the advocate failed to mention many more costs associated with tablets. Lee Wilson, former CEO of Peaside Education, states that implementing tablets in K-12 schools requiring purchasing hardware and software, building new Wi-Fi infrastructure, and training teachers and administrators on how to use this technology. The implementation costs for e-textbooks on iPad tablets are more than 5 times that for new print textbooks in an average high school. Not only that, tablets are more fragile than textbooks, they cost more to repair, and become obsolete much quicker than textbooks, which means that schools will have to require buying more tablets more often. Also, tablets are more susceptible to theft than print textbooks. An article by the Associated Press finds that in San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles, robberies related to internet-enabled handheld devices, including tablets, accounted for almost 50% of all robberies in 2012. Stolen and lost handheld devices have cost Americans more than $30 billion in 2012. And it's easy to see how people can steal these devices. I mean, it's so easy to reach into your classmate's backpack, put it in yours, and then sell it on eBay. More so, there's a risk of our kids who are walking to school with these tablets being robbed. And that's something that's not benefiting the students. Now on to the advocate's last claim. Although she says implementing tablets will reduce back strain and injuries related to back-related injuries, tablets also cause injuries themselves. According to the American Optometric Association, handhelds contribute to the computer vision syndrome, which causes eye strain, headaches, blurred vision, and dry eyes. Not only do they induce injuries, but there are studies that have actually shown that people prefer textbooks over tablets. A study was conducted by Naomi Barron and university students in the US, Japan, Germany, and Slovakia. They found that when students were given a choice of various media, including hard copy, cell phone, tablet, e-reader, and laptop, 92% said they prefer books and hard copy. Now, also I'd like to add that not all textbooks are available digitally, and students will still have to carry textbooks in their backpacks. And in conclusion, with all the information the advocate omitted, there is not sufficient evidence to prove that it is an advantage to students, advantage to schools, or our taxpayers or society. Thank you.
right, organizationally, everything is excellent. On the first point about how quick it is, I thought that you documented some interesting counterclaims concerning distractions. You know, they're not going to be learning if they're distracted. You had the teacher's statistical information about the distraction. You had examples. I thought you had a really good example from a school district that actually had used this, that showed that the students got around the attempts to restrict this kind of access that would be problematic. And in essence, you know, I think that's a good argument on that particular point. It's very hypothetical that the advocate's presenting, and yours documents something that's a little bit more specific. Now, on the cheaper issue, you basically concede the argument on e-text, but you do have some good responses here on hidden costs, so they're nice counterclaims, and those were really well developed. And then on the last point, the potential risks that are going on there, I thought that those were also nicely developed. Again, you do sort of concede to some degree the back issue, although you suggest that textbooks would still have to be taken and carried around. That seemed largely to be an assertion on your part, but the stuff that the students prefer the texts, and that the stuff on eye strain and all those kinds of problems, I thought that was really good. And you do an excellent job of speaking to the audience. I thought you were very effective that way.